Let me ask you something. How many times have you tried to bury your emotions? How many times did you walk away pretending you were over it, when deep inside, you were still holding on? Today, we're going to talk about something powerful, something raw. The truth about feelings that never die. This isn't about weakness. No. This is about strength, resilience, and the darkest lessons life teaches when love refuses to fade away. You know, people walk through this life every single day wearing masks, smiling when they're broken, laughing when they're in pain, saying, "I don't care," when deep down they care more than they'll ever admit. And I'm telling you, one of the darkest powers you'll ever come to understand is that authentic emotions, the real ones, the ones you try to bury, they never truly leave you. Think about it. How many times in your life have you said, "I'm over it"? How many times have you convinced yourself, "I moved on"? Yet when the night gets quiet, when nobody's around, when it's just you and your thoughts, those feelings come back knocking. They come back louder than ever, because that's the truth about authentic emotions. They are not guests who visit and leave. They are tenants. They live inside of you. They shape the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you see the world. Now, let me tell you something important. Most people think having lingering feelings makes them weak. They think holding on to something that's gone means they failed. But that's not weakness. That's proof of authenticity. Because you can't fake the deepest parts of your soul. You can't erase something that was written on the very fabric of who you are. See, when I say, "I never lost feelings for you," it's not about being trapped in the past. It's about admitting the truth that those emotions were real. And what's real doesn't vanish. You can bury it under work, under pride, under new relationships, under distractions. But life has a way of pulling it back up. It'll show in the way you hesitate before saying someone else's name. It'll show in the way a song hits you harder than it should. It'll show in the way a memory flashes across your mind at the most unexpected moment. Authentic emotions are powerful because they teach you about yourself. They remind you of your capacity to love, to care, to be loyal, to feel. They are evidence that your heart is not made of stone. They are proof that you are human in a world that's constantly trying to make you numb. And when the world wants you to forget, when the world wants you to harden up, those lingering feelings stand as a silent rebellion, whispering to you that you are still alive inside. But here's the thing most people don't understand. Ignoring your feelings doesn't erase them. It only gives them power over you. You can try to numb yourself with noise, with distractions, with empty pleasures, but eventually when life quiets down, those emotions resurface. And they resurface stronger because you gave them time to grow in the dark. That's why facing your authentic emotions is the only way forward, not running from them, not denying them, facing them. Now, listen closely. There's a reason we never truly lose feelings for some people, for some moments, for some chapters of our lives. It's because those experiences shaped us. They carved themselves into the story of who we are. And when something becomes part of your story, it doesn't just vanish. It may fade, it may soften, it may become easier to carry, but it never disappears. And that's not something to be ashamed of. That's something to honor. Think about it like this. If you loved someone so deeply that years later you can still feel it, even after everything fell apart, even after the world moved on, what does that really say about you? It says you're loyal. It says you're capable of depth. It says you don't just treat people like passing seasons. It says when you give your heart, you give it in truth, and that's rare. That's a strength. That's authenticity. So don't let anybody tell you that never losing feelings is weakness. Don't let anybody convince you that the scars on your heart are signs of failure. Those scars are proof that you lived, that you cared, that you loved with an intensity most people will never understand. And that kind of authenticity, that kind of truth, is where your darkest power lies. Because authentic emotions don't just remind you of what you lost, they remind you of what you're capable of. They remind you that if you could love once with that fire, you can live your life with that same fire. If you could stay loyal once, you can stay disciplined now. If you could feel deeply once, you can bring that depth to your purpose, to your calling, to your mission. Those emotions are not a chain. They are fuel. And when you accept them instead of denying them, they transform you. They give you a strength that no mask, no lie, no act of denial could ever give. That's why I say it again. Authentic emotions never die. They sleep, they hide, they wait. But deep down, they are always there, and they will always be a part of who you are. You know, people confuse loyalty with weakness. They look at someone who still carries feelings for a person long after the world has told them to move on, and they whisper, "That man is soft. That woman is fragile." But I need you to understand something. The world has it backward. Loyalty is not weakness. Love that endures, feelings that refuse to die. They are not shackles, they are a source of power. Because when you never lose feelings for someone, what you're really saying is, my soul remembers. My heart refuses to become shallow. And in a world where everyone is quick to discard, quick to replace, quick to forget, that is strength. That is depth. That is power. Think about it. Anybody can walk away and pretend. Anybody can cut ties and say, I never cared. That's easy. But it takes courage to stand in your truth and admit, I cared then, and I still care now. It takes strength to carry loyalty in your spirit when the world is trying to teach you to be cold, detached, and empty. Loyalty doesn't mean you're stuck in the past. Loyalty means you value what was real. It means you respect the bond that once existed, even if life forced you down different paths. See, loyalty is not about holding on to a person forever. It's about holding on to the lesson, the love, the humanity that person brought out of you. When you stay loyal to what you feel, you are telling the world, I'm not built to play games. I'm not built to be fake. I'm not built to forget something just because it's easier that way. And that kind of loyalty, it's rare. It's noble. It's powerful. Now let me tell you why love and loyalty are inner strength. Because loyalty creates consistency. It makes your heart steady when everything else is falling apart. A loyal person doesn't break promises easily. A loyal person doesn't abandon principles when things get hard. A loyal person is anchored. And when you're anchored, storms don't destroy you. The world can throw betrayal, heartbreak, disappointment at you, but if you have loyalty inside your spirit, you will not crumble. You will bend, you will ache, but you will not shatter. And that's the thing about loyalty. It's not just about relationships with people. It's about your relationship with yourself. If you can stay loyal to your emotions, if you can acknowledge them without running, then you can stay loyal to your vision, to your calling, to your destiny. The same strength that allows you to carry feelings for someone long after they're gone is the same strength that will allow you to keep going when success feels far away. It's the same strength that will make you keep showing up when the world says quit. That's why loyalty is not weakness. It's the foundation of greatness. But the world won't tell you this. The world will mock loyalty. It will glorify detachment. It will celebrate people who can cut off emotions and walk away cold. But let me ask you, what kind of strength is it to feel nothing? What kind of power is it to erase, to pretend to be numb? That's not strength. That's avoidance. True power is feeling everything and still standing. True strength is being loyal in a world that tells you to be selfish. And love is the core of that loyalty. Love is not soft. Love is not weak. Love is discipline. Love is sacrifice. Love is choosing to care even when it's easier not to. Love is showing up when everything in you wants to run. Love is endurance. And when you've loved someone so deeply that those feelings still live inside you, that doesn't mean you're trapped. It means you have the capacity to love with a depth most people will never reach. It means you can channel that same loyalty into your craft, your purpose, your family, your legacy. Let me tell you, the strongest leaders, the greatest warriors, the most powerful souls, they were all people of loyalty. They were people who stood by their principles when it cost them everything. They were people who loved so deeply, they were willing to sacrifice comfort, pride, and even their own safety for what they believed in. That is what loyalty does. It shapes character. It creates resilience. It forges power in the darkest places. So when you carry those feelings, when you whisper to yourself, I never lost feelings for you, don't see it as a weakness. See it as proof. Proof that your loyalty runs deep. Proof that your love is real. Proof that you are not shallow, not fragile, not empty. You are strong enough to hold on to the truth even when it hurts. You are strong enough to remain loyal when the world tells you to betray yourself. You are strong enough to carry love in your heart even when it's heavy. And that strength, that loyalty, that depth, that is the inner power the world cannot take from you. You know, life has a way of testing the heart in ways we don't expect. Sometimes it's not betrayal. Sometimes it's not rejection. Sometimes it's just distance. Distance that stretches between people until it feels unbearable. Distance that makes you question if what you feel is even real. And let me tell you something. Just because you are apart from someone, just because life put miles, circumstances, or silence between you, it does not mean those feelings go away. Those feelings, the ones that lie deep in your chest, they linger. They grow in the quiet. They carve paths in your soul that nothing else can erase. Pain, real pain, is a teacher disguised as suffering. And distance, physical, emotional, whatever form it takes, is part of that lesson. Most people run from it. Most people try to numb it. They say, out of sight, out of mind. But real growth, real power, comes from facing the emptiness, feeling the ache, and letting it transform you. The heart doesn't break just to hurt you. The heart breaks to teach you resilience, to teach you patience, to teach you how to survive while still keeping your love intact, while still carrying loyalty, while still honoring your truth. Think about it. Every time you've been separated from someone you care about, hasn't it made you realize something about yourself? The nights you spent staring at the ceiling, the long walks thinking about the past, the moments you wanted to give up but didn't. Those were the moments you were learning that distance doesn't erase truth, learning that pain is temporary, but lessons last forever, learning that your heart is stronger than you imagine, that your soul can hold more than the world ever thought possible. Distance has a way of showing you the depth of your feelings. It strips away the distractions, the superficial connections, the noise, and it lays bare what truly matters. It tests loyalty, it tests patience, it tests endurance. And if you survive it, if you face it, if you don't allow yourself to compromise your truth for the sake of convenience, you grow. You grow in ways that people who never suffered, who never missed, who never waited will never understand. You grow in ways that make you unstoppable. Pain also teaches you clarity. There's nothing like heartache to separate the superficial from the real. You learn who you are, what you value, and what you cannot compromise on. You learn that your feelings are not burdens. They are guides. They are a map of your soul. They show you where you've been, where you want to go, and what you refuse to forget. And when life forces you apart from someone, when the world puts walls between you, it's not a punishment. It's an opportunity to strengthen yourself, to refine your heart, to deepen your understanding of love, loyalty, and power. The irony of distance is that it makes the connection stronger, not weaker, if you are willing to let it teach you. The pain that comes from missing someone is not meaningless. It's shaping you. It's teaching you endurance, resilience, and perspective. It's showing you that love is not just about closeness or convenience. Love is about consistency, about persistence, about holding truth in your heart when everything around you is trying to convince you otherwise. And here's the lesson most people never learns. Growth is inseparable from pain. You can't have the kind of inner strength that changes your life without experiencing the discomfort that stretches you. That makes you question yourself, that forces you to confront your fears. Every sleepless night, every longing glance at a memory, every moment of doubt is a brick in the foundation of your resilience. Every ache is a step closer to understanding your own heart, your own power, your own worth. So, when you say to yourself, I never lost feelings for you, even after time, distance, or pain, you're not being foolish. You're not weak. You are a person who has endured, who has learned, who has grown through the fire of separation. That fire refines you. It purifies your intentions. It sharpens your vision. It teaches you that feelings that persist, that survive pain and distance, are not liabilities. They are treasures. They are proof that your heart can survive hardship and still hold truth. Pain, distance, and separation do not take away from love. They amplify it. They teach you patience, endurance, and depth. They show you the strength hidden in your loyalty. They reveal the resilience you didn't know you had. And when you embrace these lessons instead of running from them, you turn what seems like suffering into a source of unstoppable power. Let me tell you something that most people will never understand. The feelings you think are your weakness, the love you believe is holding you back, the pain that keeps waking you up in the middle of the night, those are not weaknesses. Those are weapons. Those are fuel. Those are the raw materials for building a life that's stronger, sharper, and more powerful than you ever imagined. And the moment you start seeing your emotional struggles not as burdens but as tools, that's the moment you step into a power that most people will never touch. You see, life doesn't hand out power neatly packaged with instructions. Power comes from struggle. Power comes from persistence. Power comes from walking through fire, carrying your heart, carrying your feelings, carrying every memory, every mistake, every love you thought you lost, and using all of it to push yourself forward. And that's exactly what happens when you take the feelings you never lost, the love you never let die, and you turn it into motivation. You turn it into focus. You turn it into discipline. That's how the darkest power lessons of life work. They take what tries to break you and turn it into what makes you unbreakable. Most people spend their lives running from their emotions. They try to distract themselves with noise, with work, with other people, with achievements that never satisfy them. They try to erase memories, to forget feelings, to convince themselves that what once mattered doesn't matter anymore. But all they're doing is giving those feelings power in the dark. They're letting them fester instead of channeling them. And here's the truth: the feelings you carry, the love that remains, the pain you endured, these are your superpowers if you choose to use them. Think about it. Every time you felt heartache, every time you've loved someone you couldn't be with, every time life knocked you down and left you standing in the rubble, you were learning, you were building. You were collecting strength that nobody else can see but you. And strength like that is rare because most people are too afraid to face themselves honestly. Most people are too afraid to admit it. I still feel, I still love, I still care. But admitting it, owning it, using it, this is where power lies. Turning emotional struggle into power is not instant. It doesn't happen overnight. It's a process. It's quiet. It's grinding. It's waking up every day, staring at your reflection and saying, I will take this love. I will take this pain. I will take these feelings and I will make them work for me. It's about choosing to let your emotions sharpen your focus instead of dulling your ambition. It's about letting your experiences, good and bad, shape the way you move through the world, the way you treat people, the way you pursue your purpose. And here's the most important thing: power built from emotional struggle is sustainable. Because it's not built on arrogance, on fear, or on pretending. It's built on authenticity. It's built on truth. When you take the feelings that never left you and use them to fuel your actions, you don't just gain temporary motivation, you gain a permanent edge. You gain clarity about who you are and what you will never compromise. You gain resilience that no obstacle, no rejection, no heartbreak can ever take from you. This is the reason why people who have endured and loved and lost often rise higher than those who have only known comfort and convenience. Because they've been through the fire. They've held on to their feelings when it was easier to let go. They've experienced the raw, unfiltered power of their emotions and turned it into something tangible. And that tangibility is not just success, it's mastery. Mastery over self. Mastery over your reactions. Mastery over the way you use your heart, your mind, and your experiences to command your life. So when you look back at your struggles, at the love you thought was too much, at the pain you thought would break you, don't see it as failure. Don't see it as a loss. See it as material. See it as fuel. See it as the raw power that will drive you, mold you, and transform you into a person who can face the world and say with confidence, I endured, I loved, I suffered, and I turned it all into strength. The power that comes from emotional struggle is not flashy. It's not loud. It doesn't demand recognition. But it builds character, it builds resilience, and it builds a life that no external force can shake. So here's the truth. Life will test your heart. Life will challenge your loyalty. Life will separate you from what you care about. Life will try to convince you that the feelings you carry are burdens, that the love you hold is weakness, that the pain you've endured is meaningless. But the real power, the darkest power, comes from facing all of it, owning it, and using it. The feelings you never lost, the loyalty that never wavered, the lessons learned through distance, pain, and struggle, they are not weaknesses. They are your fire. They are the fuel that drives you forward. They are proof that you are capable of depth, resilience, and greatness. When you embrace your emotions instead of running from them, when you turn your struggles into strength, instead of letting them weigh you down, you step into a power that most people will never see, a power that most people will never understand. And that power stays with you. It shapes your decisions. It guides your actions. It builds an unshakable life, an authentic life, a life that is real. Remember this: your heart, your loyalty, your love, your pain, they are not liabilities. They are the instruments of your mastery. They are the tools that will make you unstoppable. They are the reason you can rise higher than the circumstances, higher than the doubts, higher than the fear. When you realize this, when you truly live this truth, you hold a timeless power, a power that cannot be taken, a power that begins in the depths of your own soul,